Hello, welcome to my channel 25th and South. My name is Cece, and in today's speed build we are working on this small home that I have called number 36 Cherry Lane. Now for those of you who have been watching my channel, you know that I already have another speed build called 34 Cherry Lane, which houses the Wilsons, Mary and Barry. And so I decided that I wanted them to have some neighbors. So I went on Pinterest and I found this really beautiful house that just had a ton of beautiful landscaping, and I thought I wanted to try that. So I started building this house and I created it for a young couple and their young toddler daughter. So the residents of this house are Oliver and Everly Dixon and their toddler daughter Sade. Now 34 Cherry Lane sits on a 20 by 15 lot in Newcrest, and it comes in at about 75,877 simoleons. And what I really loved about the photo that I found on Pinterest was, number one, it just looks super whimsical with all of the sort of plants and vines coming across the top, and that's kind of what I wanted to capture in this house. Now I imagine that Everly has been taking care of the front yard for the few years that they've been here. I just imagine that she is a landscape artist that works from home, and it comes up with beautiful designs that she will go all over town putting together. I imagine that she and Barry go back and forth talking about different ideas because, you know, he's been a farmer for years, so she definitely gets some advice from him, and he gets advice on, you know, new ways of landscaping from her. And I imagine that Oliver does work outside the home, probably in the business career, but he's someone that is very involved with his family. So you'll notice there's not really a whole lot of work stuff inside the home. I imagine that when Oliver comes home, he is focused 100% on his family. Now, as you can see, I am almost done with the outside. The roof kind of came together pretty easily. It's fairly simple. That's another thing that I sort of loved about the picture that I found. And now I'm just working on the floor plan. Now, when I originally built this house, I was hoping to at least get 2 bedrooms out of it. I've built on these lots a few times and I usually can get 2 bedrooms, but I actually managed to get in 3 bedrooms. Now the 2 extra bedrooms are small, so they are just for children. You could put a double bed in and just push it up against the wall, but you probably won't have a whole lot of room for any more furniture. This house does only come with 1 bathroom, but it is a big enough bathroom for toddlers, and in order to give them baths and also to have their toddler potties in there, so you don't have to worry about putting that in their bedrooms. So I'm just sort of coming up with the floor plan, and as you can see, I am placing down some what I called holder furniture. This sort of helps me figure out how to configure spaces. So I'll just grab, you know, especially for the bathrooms, I'll just grab a tub in a little vanity or something and just kind of maneuver around the space, as well as beds. I definitely will use a bed in a bedroom as sort of a placeholder furniture to sort of figure out, will the space be big enough to fit a double bed and a dresser, or how can I lay it out? But I do manage to get everything in the end, and now I'm just sort of working on the bathroom a little bit more. I think that's pretty much the design I'm going to have for the bathroom. Now I'm kind of putting together the back door. Of course, I put my little closet at the front, And I decided to use this, I believe it's called houndstooth flooring. I know normally in a smaller space you want to put in lighter floors to make it feel bigger, but I just love this flooring and I felt that it really fit the build. I wanted to use very modern wallpapers because I imagine that Everly is very modern type of personality, that she loves new things, and while she appreciates the older style of the house on the outside, I can just imagine her really wanting the inside to look very modern. And I believe that particular wallpaper that I've used, that gray and white wallpaper, is meant for a baby's room, but I often use it, or at least that swatch, in living spaces or adult bedrooms. The bathroom is also very modern. It's a double sink bathroom with 2 mirrors above. It's very black and white. I think black and white is just always a very classic, modern sort of look. So this house does have a lot of darker tones in it that are sort of offset with lighter tones, because I just felt that that is kind of modern. I do mix some more modern furniture pieces with more traditional furniture pieces. Now I do love what I did with this sort of carpet setting. I put this one carpet down that I loved and I thought it worked well, but I felt that I needed a little bit more. So you'll see me here shortly add in a couple of other rugs to kind of fill out that floor space. And as you can see, I use that Get Famous couch and a base game round table. That table came with the Caribbean stuff pack. And as you can see, I put down my extra rugs. One is from, I think the black one is from Vintage Glamour, and the sort of woven looking one is from Laundry Day. And I believe the original one that I put down is, I want to say it is Cats and Dogs. But I do kind of, it takes me a little bit to sort of configure the kitchen and living room space, because I was really concerned that my Sims wouldn't be able to move around or sit down. I did play test this build and they can get to every part of the living area as well as the kitchen. I did go ahead and put down a chess table. I try to include chess tables in every one of my builds because it is the easiest way to build up the logic cheat, besides of course reading the book. But you can also build up relationships because you'll have your Sims sitting there talking. That mirror that I just placed that you saw for just a second comes from Jungle Adventure, and I thought that that would be a really great entryway add on. And now I'm working on the parents' bedrooms, Oliver and Everly's bedroom. It did take me a little while to sort of configure the bed because I didn't want to put a traditional desk necessarily in here. I started off with this table. The reason why I didn't keep it is because the laptop didn't fit on it properly, and that was kind of driving me crazy. So I just put in this really tiny desk. Like I said, the only person that works from home is Everly, and I imagine that she only spends a few hours a day working on landscaping for her company, and the rest of the time she's running after Sade. And now I'm working on Sade's bedroom. It's sort of peachy are all the tones in this bedroom. I know I have the walls are white right now, but I will change that. A lot of times with bedrooms I'll start off with this sort of white swatch with the marbling at the top, and just to sort of have something down, and then as I sort of figure out the personalities of the Sims, I'll change the colors. I did go ahead and put a nursery in this build because I believe that Oliver and Everly would try to have another child. It's very yellow in here. As you can see, I took that Cats and Dogs dresser, and using the Move Objects cheat, I put an ottoman on top of it to make it look like a changing table. Now obviously we don't use changing tables when we're changing our babies, but I just think it really made the room look more realistic. I did not come up with that. I got it off of another YouTuber. Simlicy has done it, and a couple of other YouTubers have done it, so it's not something that I came up with. I'm not that genius, but I do like to do that on my builds. Now I do have carpeting in the toddler and baby's room. I started off with carpeting in the parents' room, but I decided to do away with it. Now I'm starting to work on the landscaping, which is really my favorite part of the build, and I went crazy with the landscaping, as you saw in the little beginning shots. I just sort of lost my mind a little bit, but kind of what I wanted to do was sort of match the concept of black and white. Now in the Pinterest folder or photo that I showed you, the house is blue. It's a dark blue, but there really isn't a good swatch for that, so I just decided to use this black cats and dogs swatch because it fit well, and I decided to keep all of the landscaping green, white, and because there really isn't a dark blue flower swatch, and it kind of contrasts a little bit to the Wilson's house, which is next door, because their front lawn, their garden is so colorful. So I decided it would be kind of a cool contrast to have this house not void of color, but just have less color, and it sort of fit with Everly's sort of neat and perfect aesthetic. Now I'm starting to work on the vinery that's at the top of the house. It's on the little awning up top. And I'm doing this by raising bushes up with the Move Objects cheat. So if you do download this build, be sure to have Move Objects on so that the flowers in the bushes that I'm putting up here won't fall down. It did take me a little bit to do this, to sort of figure it out, to make sure that each plant was sort of sitting on top of that little awning that I placed. And now I'm putting some vines and some window boxes, and the window boxes I believe come from Romantic Garden. All of the other plants come from everywhere. There's Romantic Garden, there's Cats and Dogs, there's Base Game, there's I think Outdoor Retreat is in there as well. The backyard is pretty simple because it is so small. I fit in some tables and chairs, a tiny grill, and then I put the toddler stuff pack dollhouse and the little slide for Sade, and then a couple of planter boxes, and then I found the succulents shelf that I believe also comes from Laundry Day. If not Laundry Day, then Outdoor Retreat, but I really feel it comes from Laundry Day, and I put that against the back wall. I did put some vines on the back exterior, but I kind of wanted the backyard to be a little less busy. Now there's a lot going on with this build, so do have you might need a stronger computer because it can glitch if you don't have a gaming computer. A lot of this stuff will kind of be a little glitchy. So, but I have a pretty good gaming computer, so it doesn't really mess up my game all that much. Now, you will be proud of me. I managed to remember not only a mailbox, but a toddler toilet, and a trash can, and the AC. I don't show all of those in the build, but I did that. All of those, I managed to put all of those things in, remember to put all of those things in before I uploaded this build to the gallery. And I know this is like my third speed build on the channel, so you will not know how big of a moment that is for me, but it is a huge moment to remember to put all of those items in this build. Here I am putting the succulents in, and I think that for Everly, she's a landscape artist or a gardener in the game. She loves gardening, but I think when she comes home, her gardening is sort of like experimental gardening. She's just sort of working with the plants that she's thinking about using. It's not always for pleasure. And now I'm going through the build and I'm putting in those little details. So some feature lights, some plants. Now I did not clutter the inside. The outside has a lot going on, but the inside is not cluttered that much at all, because I did want it to feel very clean and very modern and very well put together. Like each piece was chosen by Everly and placed in a certain order, and this is kind of how it is. She's just really a perfectionist, but yeah, I'm putting in some plants. The TV is in there, and I'm placing those Get Famous lamps. I love those lamps. Glamour Stuff Pack curtains for the master bedroom. I believe I just put a base game picture against that wall. And then, let's see, I didn't really add too much to their bedroom. Once again, I didn't want to clutter it up too much. I did put the little basket with blankets. I wish that had a swatch where it was just either plain white or plain black blankets inside of it. Now here in the nursery, I did something kind of cool with the wall. I don't like to really limit myself when it comes to the artwork that you can place on the wall. So I did this little, like, it's kind of a gallery wall, not really, but I sort of arranged a couple of photos or a few photos and a mirror on this wall, along with that little decal in the back. The decal, I feel, comes from cats and dogs, if I remember correctly. I love using that in children's rooms. I think that is such a unique touch, and I have so many of my friends who have children of their own who like to do murals and put those kind of decal things in their kids' rooms. I did struggle a little bit to figure out what curtains to put in Sade's room. I loved those cats and dogs. No, those aren't cats and dogs. I think they're laundry day. I can't remember. In the end, I put in season curtains, so it doesn't really matter what I tried to put in. I love the fairy lights, and then I put in these little butterfly decals, and that piece of artwork with the little bird, that's Backyard. The fairy lights are Parenthood, and the butterflies are either Parenthood or the kids room. We are coming up to the end of the build. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, shoot me a comment, and subscribe. This build will be on the Sims 4 gallery, which will be linked in the description below. Thanks so much for watching. Again, my name is Cece, and I promise never to break your game. Bye!